Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to VIP-bet's daily fantasy broadcast. The Brooklyn boys are back. MattyG, Chris the analyst Ventra. Today, we have a lot of exciting things going on. We're going to go over our top 5 quarterbacks we want to start.
Start them, sit them.
Start them, sit them, baby. And our top 5 quarterbacks that we don't want to touch week 1.
Week 1 NFL.
Yep. Let's get right into it.
One thing I want to bring up first, Matt, and hey guys, thanks for joining. This is going to be obviously both for DraftKings and FanDuel. Obviously, prices vary, everything like that. So we're just going to go over quarterbacks we like. We're doing the 2 big tournaments in each week 1. So the $5 million for the DraftKings and the $2 million for the FanDuel. So there's certain games not included in this. Yep. You have the first game of the season is actually a Thursday night game, Carolina versus Denver, a rematch of the Super Bowl. That game is not part of this slate for either one. So that's going to be excluded. And the Monday night game for this tournament on DraftKings is not included, which is Los Angeles Rams versus San Francisco, California rivalry. But FanDuel does have the Monday night game included. Luckily, we're not going to include that in our actual start 'em, sit 'em top 5 here.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get into it, baby.
All right.
Very excited. Start 'em, number 5.
Well, let's start with sit 'em.
You want to start with sit 'em?
Start with
Sit 'em, number 5. Who we sitting?
So basically, our 5th worst quarterback. Not the worst, but the 5th worst. Let's start with Andy Dalton here. Basically, I'm not a big fan of Andy Dalton week 1 right now. He's on the road against the Jets. As you can see, we can pull up his stats here. Last year, didn't play a full season. Actually had a nice ratio, touchdown to interceptions. Didn't throw for too many yards, 3,200. It's probably on the lower side of the starting quarterbacks of the league. So he's more of a mid-tier quarterback when it comes to fantasy, year in and year out. He's been in the league for a while now. And I just don't like the matchup. Yeah. He's on the road. Extremely tough D, the Jets are. Good at home. Secondary is really good. And it's just, I just don't see it. Even though his value is not bad, it's just not a good matchup. Yeah, it's just not a good matchup. I see a couple interceptions.
Yeah, definitely a tough matchup. So let's go over our 5th starter. Who are we going to start? Who do we like? Yep.
Okay, man. I think we both like this guy, Matt Ryan.
Yep.
On Atlanta. First of all, he's got my favorite player of all time, Julio Jones, to throw to. The absolute beast. He's a transformer. I mean, this guy, you just target him all day. And with the Kyle Shanahan offense, he really likes to target the number 1 receiver. He likes to throw the ball. The running back as well, Devontae Freeman. Yeah. Great pass catcher out of the backfield. He's going to light him up as well when you got those weapons. They're in the dome, at home. They play well in the dome, no weather factor. And I think they're just a strong offense overall. I think they're going to have a good year against the team. Tampa Bay, yeah, their defense is coming up, but I don't think it's there yet. I think, he has a good game, at least a couple of touchdowns from Matt Ryan.
Last year, 4,600 yards. Maybe not the best TD to interception ratio.
Yeah.
What other weapons is he working with in the wide receiver core there?
Well, right now, Roddy White retired. He used to be a prolific receiver for them. So they replaced him with Mohamed Sanu, who they signed.
Yeah, I love him.
Decent receiver, yeah. Decent number 2 wide receiver. They got
Big
Justin
contract.
Hardy at number 3. They don't really have a tight end much of to speak of, but when you got Devontae Freeman as a pass catching back, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and a quarterback like Matt Ryan, who over his career has been a pretty consistent high floor guy, I think this is a good one.
Yep. All right. Now let's go into our 4th sitting.
A 4th sit-em. So, Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers got drafted the same year as Eli Manning. Actually, I think a couple picks after him. They traded to each other. So, Rivers, over his career has some great seasons, had some bad seasons, and last year he had to throw a lot. The offensive line, very bad. Horrible year last year. I don't think they did too much to replace guys, and it shouldn't be that good again this year. An extremely tough matchup against Kansas City on the road, one of the best defenses in the league.
Very tough.
In Kansas City, top 3 hardest places to play, the Red Sea they call them. And it's just a bad matchup for him to start with. I think the run's going to get stuffed. They couldn't run the ball much last year. I think he's going to have to throw a lot. I do see at least 1 or 2 interceptions for him, and not much going on.
Yep. I mean, you look at his numbers last year. It's not terrible. I mean, 4,700 yards. I mean, a lot of these guys.
A lot of yards, but he had to come from behind a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
His defense wasn't very good. He couldn't run the ball. Had to throw a lot. 29 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. Yeah, great year. That doesn't mean he's not going to have a bad game the first game. When the matchup doesn't imply, it doesn't.
For year long, maybe good quarterback, but when you're going up versus a defense like KC, as Chris was saying, it's
tough sledding.
Yeah, tough. I mean, you're away. You're at tough crowd. It's just tough.
Yeah, that's a bad matchup all around.
Tough. We really won't be going after Phillip Rivers. Week 1 too much at all.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
number 4 starter.
Yeah.
Who do you like here, Chris?
Okay, I like an up-and-coming guy, Blake Bortles. Big, tall quarterback, similar to Big Ben on Pittsburgh, Ben Roethlisberger, that is. He's at home to start the season against Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, middle-of-the-road defense. This Jacksonville team's a pass-heavy team, especially last year. They had to come from behind a lot. I don't see that changing too much. I'm sure there's going to be a little regression in the passing, but that's only going to help Black Bortles' efficiency. Last year, as a second-year quarterback, threw 35 touchdowns, a lot of interceptions. 18 interceptions, though. But, like I said, it's about the matchup. He threw for 4,400 yards as a young quarterback. I mean, I think with those weapons he's got, too.
The weapons, man. I mean, he's got
Robinson, Hearns.
Looking good.
Julius Thomas at tight end.
Boom.
And even TJ Yeldon out of the backfield, he can hit up sometimes. I just see they're going to be playing catch-up a lot of passes, and I think Bortles is going to have another big year.
I think they mesh well together. His core wide receivers, him.
You're right.
I think they're going to have a really good year.
Definitely, yeah, exactly.
Maybe not the team as a whole, but daily fantasy-wise,
yeah,
I like them.
Bortles is a really good fantasy quarterback.
We're going to be seeing a lot of them.
Absolutely.
All right, so third, sit him.
So my third worst quarterback, week 1. I really don't like this guy in general, but Jay Cutler.
Don't like him.
On the Chicago Bears. Have an extremely tough matchup week 1 on the road against Houston. Another top-tier defense with playmakers all over the place. J.J. Watt probably going to get a ton of pressure. The Chicago offensive line is really weak, one of the weakest. They didn't do much to secure that line. They don't even look good in preseason. And Jay Cutler in general, turnover-prone guy. Yeah. I know last year, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, only threw for 3,700 yards. He didn't throw as much as he used to. In the past, he used to throw a lot. Lost Matt Forte.
Yeah, that's huge, man. I think that's really big. I mean, teams would come up, try and stuff that run, open up some passing lanes for Cutler. They have Langford now. I mean, he's no Forte. Come on. Forte would catch out of the backfield, make some nice
Exactly.
plays.
I mean, you're talking about a career. This guy made a living off his, his catching ability. Gone now. I know he's older, but that's a weapon for Cutler in the backfield. Yeah. Now you got a committee. You don't know who the true starter is. Langfield's supposed to be, but there's a lot of bad things going on with the O-line, and just too tough of a matchup on the road week 1. Man. I don't see him doing much.
Houston always plays tough, man.
Yeah, it's just not going to be a good one.
I mean, they're just a tough team. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's keep it moving. Number 3 starter. And
boy.
You know I like him.
Your boy right here. Yeah. And I like him too. Maybe not as much as you, but I like him. So, RG3. He's actually on DraftKings ranked the lowest QB of the starting quarterbacks in this slate of games, at least. I really think there's a few things that come to mind with me, RG3. Now, it's hard to process. Obviously, he has no game log. He hasn't quarterbacked in 2 or 3 years at least. Washington misused him badly. I think the guy still got talent. He's still relatively young. He's in his prime. And so far in preseason, he looks really good, right?
It's amazing, man. I think he could throw the ball. I mean, as he said, he's a young quarterback still. He, obviously got injured a couple of times, so he
runs the ball a lot. That's why.
Could run. I mean, that's a big factor for me when you got a quarterback who can, tuck the ball in.
A lot of fantasy points there.
Go for a nice little 20, 30-yard run, even maybe some
G3.
Yeah, maybe some rushing touchdowns. I mean, I really like him. I mean,
yeah, and especially the fact that, obviously if it was a really good defense. It'd be hard to like him this week, but he's playing Philadelphia. I know it's on the road at Philadelphia, but Philadelphia last year had an abysmal season. I'm sure they shored up some of their positions on defense, but I don't see their defense being much better than it was last year. This is an opportunity for RG3 to get off on the right foot, and he's at a great value, guys. It's not just about how talented these quarterbacks are, and obviously RG3 has talent, but he hasn't played in 3 years. Injury is a big risk, but it's about the value. I mean, you make lineups with this guy RG3, you're gonna have a lot of money to play with. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of money to play with. I like that.
Yeah,
I like those odds.
Definitely like it. I mean, it's just a great value pick here. I mean, you can do a lot with your lineups. Have a nice breathing room with your salary. So I mean,
and let's be. I mean, I understand. I mean, let's be real here. Cleveland, as a team themselves, offensively, not so great.
No,
they don't have a ton of weapons, but the emergence of Duke Johnson out of the backfield, great pass catching back. I think he's going to be the next Darren Sproles.
Oh, nice.
I'm calling it here first. The next Darren Sproles.
Wow.
I think he's going to have. He's got young weapons. He's got Corey Coleman, the first round rookie they drafted. He's a good little receiver. He's going to have to step up right away. And Terrell Pryor, former quarterback, emerging as a receiver for them.
6'4"?
6'4", 225 pounds. We're talking about a weapon that could be used. And he's already been using him in preseason.
Yep.
So, good value pick here. Really good value
pick.
Good value.
I love it. All right, let's keep it going. This Sidham, I really don't like this guy. I don't think
anybody does.
I really don't think anyone can.
And that's why we threw him on here. I mean, it's a little obvious, but Jimmy Garoppolo on New England, I mean, he's a backup quarterback his whole career. He just doesn't have the talent, doesn't have the arm strength, doesn't have the accuracy, doesn't have the experience. And going up against the Arizona defense, week 1, in Arizona,
tough.
That's a tough one
draw.
Tough draw. I mean, for anybody, not just Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, of course.
So they're a playmaking D.
Yeah.
Tyrone Matthew in the secondary, Honey Badger intercepts everything.
First game in the NFL, and playing versus Arizona, that cannot be easy. Way at Arizona, it just can't. I see the nerves getting to him. I see him throwing a couple of picks. I just don't see him producing any daily fantasy numbers week 1 at all. Maybe if the matchup was better, but
this is more of a guy. Obviously, he's only going to play for the first 4 weeks. Tom Brady is going to come back by week 5, so you don't want to play around with this guy. I mean, especially week 1, you don't know what he's going to do. Let's say he does have a good game. Maybe you can consider him because he's going to be obviously a low-value pick. But not week 1 against Arizona.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
I don't think so. So let's go to our stardom number 2.
We're getting to the gritty.
And this guy does it year in,
The
year out.
nitty-gritty.
Been doing it for years. Always a great fantasy play. Drew Brees.
Yeah, absolutely. Drew Brees is, a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Let's be serious. Obviously, as you see here on DraftKings and on FanDuel, on both sites actually, he's the number 3 quarterback, I believe. Yep. Number 3 quarterback. I'll go back to DraftKings. I kind of want to see. They show his stats from last year. Click on Drew Brees. So Drew Brees, there's not much to say except that this guy has one of the highest floors at quarterback. You're almost guaranteed a certain amount of points from him. Last year, he averaged 23 fantasy points a game. I think his floor is probably 16. And the matchup's great. Oakland at home in the Dome. Look, you could see right there on the screen his numbers at home: 23 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, as opposed to away 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. If there's anybody who's good at home, it's Drew Brees.
Got the Dome.
He's got the intelligence. He's got the coach who he's been with, Sean Payton, for years and years and years. They do the same thing. They're a high-flying offense. They pass the ball a lot. The guy threw for almost 4,900 yards, for God's sakes. What can you say about him? It's a great value. It's a great value.
Yeah, really.
Even with his price, how can you not take him?
Can't go wrong
at Oakland. Against Oakland.
You really cannot go wrong here with Drew Brees.
No.
Now let's go to our number 1. We don't even want to look at this guy at all.
No, yeah, our number 1.
Ryan Tannehill. Just all around, Chris. What do you think of this guy week 1?
honestly, Tannehill's a guy that I'm not going to like most weeks or in general already. See where he is on FanDuel. I mean, I just don't think he's I would say a below average quarterback, especially for fantasy. Probably in the bottom quarter tier. Just doesn't put up big numbers. And against Seattle, in Seattle, the number one toughest place to play every single year, they're going to be rocking week 1 for their opening match.
Lost the Super Bowl that heartbreaking way. I mean,
2 years ago, yeah. I mean, it's like, how can you start this guy with such a difficult match ahead of him? And I think one of the other biggest factors is he lost Lamar Miller this year.
Yeah, I love Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller's gone, his running back, yeah. What do you think? I mean, you think that plays a part?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he has a couple of decent wide receivers. We got Jarvis Landry, Parker.
Devontae Parker, right?
And then Stills, right?
Stills,
I
yeah.
mean, Landry had a decent year last year. I'm not gonna lie.
Landry's a good
made some good plays, but I mean, here we're gonna go into it matchups. I mean, Seattle at home. I mean, anyone who's playing Seattle at home, we're gonna have them in the top 5. Sit them. I mean, it's just too hard to play.
Most of the time,
obviously,
especially in Seattle.
Yeah, of course.
And just Miami in general. Lamar Miller was their bright spot. Even though Jarvis Landry's a really good wide receiver, he's more of a possession receiver. He's not a guy who's going to beat you vertically. They don't really have a ton of weapons there. Devontae Parker's just up and coming. We'll see what he can do. He didn't do much last year. And the running back situation, with Miller gone, we don't know. Arian Foster they picked
always
up,
hurt.
but he's older. He's injury prone, exactly. And Jay Ajayi, young running back, really know what he's going to do yet. I think a lot rides on Tannehill, and it's too much for him week 1.
Yeah,
I think this is a really bad play.
Yeah, really bad
Number
play.
1.
Yep. I think they stuff him up. I don't think he really is going to do much there now. Let's go.
Number one, baby.
Number 1 starter.
Let's go, baby.
Who we're going to put in our lineups more than anyone.
Yep. And this is a guy who I love, for the season, for the future. David Carr's little brother. David Carr used to be, pretty good, above average quarterback in the NFL for a while. I mean, look at his year last year. It was his second season. He's really young, 23, 24 years old. I mean, he had 32 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, almost threw for 4,000 yards. Completion percentage, middle of the road. He had a very.
It's going to get better.
It's going to get better, exactly. He had an up and down season last year, but for an Oakland Raiders team that's developing with him at the same time. For instance, the offensive line, top 5 offensive line hands down, the biggest offensive line in the NFL, had a great year last year, and they're only going to get better. They're bringing back the same guys and adding better players, up and coming weapons all around. Amari Cooper, number 1 pick for them 2 years ago. For them last year, actually, had a big year as a rookie and can only do better. Michael Crabtree had a bounce back year in his career because of Derek Carr. Latavius Murray, I see him having a bounce back year. I love him this year. Just the weapons on offense overall, and not to mention a first game on the road in New Orleans in a dome. Yes, it's on the road, but I mean,
a shootout.
New Orleans defense.
It's going to be a shootout.
Let's look at New Orleans defense right now on the opposing ranking. I'm pretty sure they're 32nd.
Yep.
32nd in the NFL last year. So I just see this being a shootout.
Yeah,
Not only that, New Orleans is going to score points on them. They're going to have to play catch up.
Yep.
Carr's got to throw the ball. And I think he's a good quarterback against a soft defense, a lot of weapons. Sky's the limit for him. I could see 3 touchdowns for him easily.
And also
this game.
A good price. I mean, for what he's on these sites, 7,300 on DraftKings. I mean, I think that's really good value.
That's good value.
I really do. I think
you could build a nice team around
you. Going versus the worst defense last year versus quarterbacks. I mean, it's not.
What is he on FanDuel? Let's check it out.
I think on FanDuel he's 7,700. Yeah, he's top 10, I think. Around
yeah. This is a good value.
Yeah,
this is a good value pick.
So I think it's great. I mean, yeah. So that's our stardom and sit-ems.
Yeah.
We also want to go over a couple other guys. We're not going to really go in depth. They just missed out. We still like them. We're going to use them. We're going to have a lot of teams going. So we're not going to, disregard everyone else. We're going to put some of these guys in. We're also going to go over some other guys we might not like too much. So who are some of the guys in the stardom list that we didn't
Well, I
edit?
want to start with the sit 'em actually,
Sure.
because I like to go positive at the end.
Sure.
Some guys that just missed the sit 'em, but I still would suggest not putting them in too many lineups. I think their matchups are poor as well. Ryan Fitzpatrick on the Jets going up against Cincinnati. They got a playmaking defense. They could easily pick off Fitzpatrick a couple of times, and Fitzpatrick ain't no Drew Brees.
No,
So
definitely not.
Sam Bradford
I just don't like him.
on Philadelphia. He may not even start. Carson Wentz, the rookie, might start, but let's say he does, because the rookies usually don't start. The guy's just had his chances in his career and never came through.
Nobody.
He's playing Cleveland. Yes, I know they might not be the best D out there, maybe middle of the road, if anything, but I just don't see him putting up big numbers week one.
Yeah.
Flacco as well. Flacco, in fantasy, middle tier quarterback, maybe at times. He's a matchup play at best, and the matchup's not good. I think Baltimore's playing Buffalo.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so they're home. They're home, I think. But, Buffalo's D is up and coming. They played a lot better last year. The guy's not, look at his numbers last year. He got hurt.
Season, yeah.
He got hurt. Threw 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Not a good ratio. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. And
The
you know
weapons, I
what?
don't
He
think
doesn't have any weapons right now.
Yeah, he doesn't got the weapons
He doesn't have
anymore.
weapons. Steve Smith is hurt. Brashard Perriman, who's a young guy, is supposed to be really good, hurt. So they have Kamar Aiken and Mike Wallace right now, who just came over from Minnesota. It's not strong enough. They're going to probably run the ball a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
They're going to run the ball a
And
lot.
I think Forset's having a nice preseason too, so I think they might try to get him in the mix a lot more.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball. They're a good offensive line too. They're a top 5 offensive line. So why not run when you can?
Of course.
And then our 3 missed out stardoms. Guy you really like this week, obviously. I think he's number 2 or number 2, I believe, on DraftKings here. I think he's also number 2 on FanDuel for this slate of games. Andrew Luck.
Yeah, good
Andrew
matchup.
Luck. What do you like about him?
Good matchup, great weapons. T.Y. Hilton looking great in preseason. He has Dante Moncrief, great.
Big
running game
breakout,
isn't strong at all.
Frank Gore's old.
Yeah, they really do focus on throwing. It's Luck. He's.
Yeah, that's the thing. And
I
think the reason why we don't have him in our top 5 for week 1, I think we want to see how he's going to do after a whole year of not playing and being injured. I kind of want to see how his chemistry develops with the team a little bit. I might put him into a couple of lineups or a bunch of lineups, depending on how many I make, but I don't want him in a good percentage of them. I want to give it a chance. I know he's playing at home in the Dome against Detroit, but and Detroit defense is shaky, but I don't know. We'll see. I kind of want to wait on him for a little bit to really stack him in a lot of lineups for myself. Then the next guy we got, Carson Palmer. We both like Palmer a lot. I love Palmer. I know he's on the latter part of his career, but he had a great year last year, threw 35 touchdowns.
He's got great weapons.
He's got weapons all over the place. I think this is the best team in the NFL overall.
They have a good defense. They're going to stuff Garoppolo over and over again. I think they're going to have the ball a lot. I think it's just going to be them destroying them. To be honest,
that's a good point. You bring up a good point.
Yeah,
they're going to stuff Garoppolo. They're going to get the ball
a lot, and their weapons, man. They got some weapons.
They're playing New England week 1 at home. You got Larry Fitzgerald. You got John Brown, Michael Floyd. That's probably the 3 best wide receivers tandem for 3 wide receivers in the league. And at running back, one of the best running backs in the league, or he should be, David Johnson. A pass-catching back. Caught over 50 passes last year. He's got the weapons. He's got the offensive line. They're a top 5 offensive line. I'm going to put him in a lot of teams. I just kept him out of the top 5 because I think New England's defense at times is going to keep him down a little bit. Even though they do get the ball a lot, they might run the ball in a lot. They have a great offensive line. I think just because they have such a good team, it might hurt him in the long, because I think by the end of the game, by the third quarter, they're going to be blowing them out. They're just going to run the ball. Yeah. It's going to kill his stats, maybe. And then our last stardom that just missed, Tyrod Taylor. What do you think about Tyrod Taylor?
I like him. I think he's a good quarterback. We were watching him today in a preseason game. He threw a nice long pass for a touchdown or close to a touchdown, 70 yards or so. He can move, very mobile.
Yeah, could run the ball.
Him breaking a lot of tackles in the backfield. I mean, he's got weapons. Sammy Watkins, got McCoy in the backfield. Who's else got? Woods.
Robert Woods is his number 2 receiver. The receivers aren't too deep.
Aren't that great.
But they're there. This guy's a good quarterback. He evades pressure, can run the ball. The matchup against Baltimore is a favorable one for him. Although I believe he's on the road. Let's take a look at him. I believe he's on the road, and I really think this guy last year was his first year really.
Yeah.
Threw for 3,000 yards. He got hurt. He missed a couple of games. He didn't start the beginning of the season, I don't believe either. So I don't know. I think that this is the year he's really going to step into the next level after a pretty good year with Buffalo. And, I think him and Sammy Watkins, just like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, I think they're going to have a great year together. And I just see this week 1 matchup. It bodes well for them. Yep. Bodes well for them.
Great, yeah. All right, guys. That's all we have for you today for our quarterback rankings and start and sit 'em. Look back. We're going to go over the running backs, tight ends, every position for you during this whole week. Get you ready for week 1.
Get ready.
Daily fantasy.
I mean, we're excited, baby.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here to help, obviously. Again, social media. Have any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah. Anything you want us to touch up on, let us know.
We love having you guys. We love doing these broadcasts and helping you out.
We're brought to you by VIP-bet. Look for some free rolls, anything to help you guys boost that bankroll. We're here for you.
Exactly. And then VIP-bet, we got a big team. You're going to see other guys out there doing videos, podcasts, just like us. We'll add to our team as well. We're going to do other podcasts on all the different sports. And we're going to, before week 1, we'll have start 'em, sit 'em for every position. This was just quarterbacks. We'll do running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defense, all of them, even kickers if you want. Yes, let us know.
All right.
We're not a big fan of kickers. But
all right, great guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you soon.
Peace out.
We're looking forward to hearing from you. Get in touch with us. VIP Bet, your place to win.